Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is set to introduce many different twists and turns as well as revelations in this story by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to demonstrate many of the connections between certain characters, from the sequel trilogy to the originals, and even all the way over to the prequel trilogy era, that is going to be used in very surprising ways and also in unexpected ways for the fan base around the entire world. Now, this film really is making a lot of risks by Disney and Lucasfilm. They're really trying to make a film that's going to be very different, but at the same exact time will hold tons of nostalgia in order to really draw in the fan base of the Star Wars franchise. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that a description of Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren traveling to the abandoned headquarters of the First Order, where it's explained that Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren are said to discover Snoke's vault that was stored away in his original throne room many years ago before The Force Awakens. It's explained that Kylo Ren eventually discovers many relics and artifacts that once belonged to Snoke, where Kylo activates a large hologram of Snoke, talking about specific secrets of a very important character. It's said that Snoke is talking about Anakin Skywalker in his hologram, where Snoke goes on to explain that he played a role in Anakin's dark side tendencies, and even was able to initiate certain visions for Anakin Skywalker in between the events of Episodes 1 and 2. It's explained that Palpatine did this as well, however Snoke unveils that he did play a role in the creation of Darth Vader and was inspired by this use of power from his master Nile Ren, who was also the master of Darth Plagueis, which would explain why Palpatine was also able to do this to Anakin as well. Additionally, it's said that Snoke had once mentally connected with Anakin during the Clone Wars when Anakin traveled to one of the Dark Temples that will be unveiled, visually speaking, in the upcoming Clone Wars Season 7 in 2020. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to introduce many different connections and, of course, revelations as well to past events and future events that will come our way in the Clone Wars Season 7. Now, the Clone Wars Season 7 is going to have a lot of connections to The Rise of Skywalker, which is going to be very interesting and fun. But on top of all of this, the Dark Temples, let's go over this. Now, in case you guys did not know, the Dark Temples play a large role in the Beyond, and they all serve as a bridge to the Beyond when they are all connected and or activated, I should say, simultaneously. Now, there was a point in time in which Snoke actually unveils in this hologram indirectly to Kylo Ren that he had once mentally connected with Anakin Skywalker and was even responsible for creating some visions for Anakin in between the events of Episodes 1 and 2, which, by the way, is a 10-year time jump. So, in between Episodes 1 and 2, a lot of things really happened for the character of Anakin, and we will be learning more about that lightly in The Rise of Skywalker, and of course, especially in the Clone Wars Season 7, we will be learning more about Anakin's adventures and how he once mentally connected with Snoke. Now, what I like so much about this is that this film really seems like it's trying to open up all of the different connections between sequel trilogy, original trilogy and prequel trilogy based characters to really make the franchise seem a little bit more vast, if you will, a little bit larger, if you will, and how all the characters are really interconnected in some way, shape, or form, which either may be a good or a bad thing. I know a lot of fans are going to express a lot of different reactions on all of this, but the other piece that I do want to go over is how his master Nile Ren was also the master of Darth Plagueis, which would definitely explain as to why Palpatine was able to do these visions in, of course, Episode 2 and Episode 3, and why in Episode 3 Anakin had those visions of Padme Amidala's death during childbirth. Now, you can see how Palpatine was able to learn these abilities because, well, Nile Ren was not only the master of both Snoke and Plagueis, but Plagueis was able to teach this ability to Palpatine, which you can see all the connections now and how they're really trying to explain all of the different links between these major characters within the Skywalker saga to really make things a lot more sense. Now, what I like about Episode 9 is that it's going to be a film that's really going to answer tons of burning questions from The Force Awakens, while also creating new questions at the very beginning of this movie that will ultimately be answered at the very end of Episode 9, which is great and all. I think that's a very inspiring thing by J.J. Abrams and what he's really trying to do to end the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga, as well as through the help with George Lucas in this movie. That's another thing. The fact that George is attached to this film in a significant way, I think is, of course, really making me more optimistic about this film and the potential that it does have. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.